It's time for your melodica lesson, and this is lesson number 8 in the melodica tutorial series for complete beginners. So grab your instrument, let's go! In this lesson we're going to have a look at notation. So let's start with those 5 lines, and we call this the staff. And we write notes either on the lines or in the space in between the lines. We also have this squiggly thing called the treble clef, and we write this at the beginning of the music. Now the treble clef indicates that the music is for a higher sounding instrument like the melodica or the flute or the violin or others. So when you see music with a treble clef, it means that you can normally play it on the melodica even if it was written for another instrument. This is the keyboard of a 37 key melodica going from F to F. On a 32 key instrument, like the one I'm using here, the notes go from that same F to C, because it's a few notes less. Let's show the notes that are written on those 5 lines. You'll see they go from the low D just below the first line to the high G just above the 5th line. And by following these blue guidelines, you can see exactly where to play each of these notes on the melodica keyboard. But what about the lower notes of the melodica and the higher ones that don't seem to fit on these staff lines? For these notes, you draw in some little extra lines just for each individual note. I'll play each note of the melodica from the lowest to the highest, so you can see where they're placed on the musical staff. At the start of the music, as well as a treble clef, you'll also get something we call a time signature. So we're going to look at a very common time signature called 4/4, or just 4/4. So the top 4 is telling you that there's 4 beats in every measure, as in 1, 2, 3, 4. And the bottom 4 is telling you that those beats are quarter notes. So let's try a little clapping exercise in 4/4. We'll do a different sort of counting this time. We're just going to keep repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, because they're the beats in each measure. I'll count in 4 before we start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to try following some music while we play an excerpt from Beethoven's 9th Symphony. You'll see it has that squiggle, which is the treble clef, and the time signature is 4/4. So that means that there's 4 beats in every measure. And you can see that the measures are divided up by bar lines. The hand position is first finger on C, just like this. I'll count to 4 before we start. That's one whole measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you download that note chart. There's a link in the description below, and that way you'll be able to familiarise yourself with how the notes on the lines and in between the lines correspond with actual notes on your melodica. It takes a while before you see notes on the page and you know exactly where to play them on the melodica. But it all comes with practice, so don't worry. That's it for this lesson. We're getting near the end of the beginners series, so if you want to take your playing further, check out the description below for links to more resources. I will see you next week where we're going to have a look at another time signature.